upon their arrival was almost unspeakable.
We thought all evil in some form or another. I'm not guilty.
The dead won't bother you. It's the living you gotta worry about.
If I couldn't keep them there with me whole, at least I felt that I could keep their skeletons.
Hello and welcome to the Bad Taste Crime Podcast. I'm Vicky.
I'm Rachel.
We are back again.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
We just watched a cat climb a tree.
Well, we just watched a cat hunting for prey.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
It's true. You can tell we're in full summer because the cats are out hunting.
I told Tiff, I'm like, I love it here. It's like Animal Planet.
Dude, literally. We were just standing out on the back deck having the pre-show cigarette.
Of course.
And yeah, the cat that's living under Tiff's porch,
the feral cat
knows that there's a birdhouse right next to the tree and just is hunting at the birdhouse.
Climbed this 20-foot tree.
It was like Discovery Channel.
It was so
Animal
cool.
Planet.
And it got something.
Yep.
She's eaten. She's got a full tummy full of
We also
squirrel
saw
or
the
bird.
kitten. Well, one of the kittens. The kitten was really cute.
I'm going to take that kitten home.
Please don't.
I'm going to.
Rachel, Rob is not. He will leave you after too many pets.
He won't even. It was in his vows that he would accept any animal I brought home.
No,
that
was
is
it really
legally binding?
Was it?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember that. I was at that wedding.
Yeah, but it was really hot. There was a lot going on.
Hot.
You probably don't even remember.
It was so hot.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
It was cute. You looked beautiful though.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody looked great.
Yeah, but that shit was ass.
It was really.
I literally
hot,
got
yeah.
heat stroke.
Anyway, if this is your first time listening, a special hello to you.
Hello.
We are going to head over to the newsroom.
Let's go there.
Unfit to breathe, our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad.
Our news this week comes from China.
Ooh.
Are you familiar with the Shaolin Temple?
Yes.
It's very famous.
Yeah, very monkey.
Currently, it is being run by, not currently, but was being run by this guy named Shi Yangjin.
Okay.
And he apparently was known as the CEO monk. Okay. I've never heard of this guy. I did not know any of this was happening. Yeah. He was the abbot of the Shaolin Temple.
Hey, I bet.
He has recently been sentenced to 24 years in prison.
What?
After he was convicted on multiple counts of embezzlement.
Oh my
misappropriation
God.
of funds and bribery.
Bro, that's not what monks do.
Yeah.
They don't even like money.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
In addition, he was also ordered to pay a fine of 3.5 million won, which is around $516,000 US dollars. Apparently, this is something that has happened for 2 decades. So he was the temple's abbot and the president of the Shaolin Charity and Welfare Foundation, and he was using both of these positions to embezzle more than 131 million won between 2003 and 2025. They also established that between 2012 and 2022, he misappropriated an additional 151 million won for personal use, failing to return the funds for over 3 months.
What a dick.
Yeah.
What is he buying? Designer robes, Louis Vuitton incense?
Maybe. The best shave.
Oh, yeah.
Head shave.
They're
aren't they all
your
bald?
head is shiny.
Yeah, shave and polish.
He's like, oh. It's they buff it with one of them car things.
Yeah. So let's see. He offered more than 5.67 million won in bribes to various government functionaries to secure quote unquote improper benefits.
Oh.
Let's see. I am curious if they have in here what a
shithead.
Let's see.
Because I like watching. Sometimes they post videos of this is what we do all day. And I think it's so fascinating.
Among the most damaging non-financial allegations, which initially triggered the public outcry, were reports of improper relationships with multiple women and the fathering of illegitimate children.
Yo!
Yeah.
This guy's a nasty monk.
Yeah. Anyway, he's had his ordination certificate revoked already by the Buddhist Association of China. He's obviously going to prison.
Yeah. They're like, you cannot be a monk anymore.
Listen, corruption be corruptioning everywhere.
That's wild.
I know, dude.
Dude, you like missed the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. He also, part of the reason he was like the CEO monk is when he became, I believe, maybe also when he was the abbot, but when he became the president of the foundation, he ran, like he had this very like corporate leadership style, which I think was very much about making money.
Yeah, which
so
was
that
probably
he can embezzle.
Unlike all of the other monks who are probably like real chill.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, where's the money going? It doesn't even matter because we're going to Nirvana. And they're like, hey, actually. Yeah. He's like, let's make a folder in a computer. And they're like, you're the guy. You're the dude.
All right. We're going to move on to Netflix and Kill.
Ooh.
This week, we are talking about The Crash.
Of course.
Which is brand spanking new as we record this. I saved it for a week because I wanted to watch it on the plane when I went out to Washington. Yo, girl.
Tell me.
What a story. So I'm assuming you've probably seen some stuff on social media about this.
Yeah.
So the documentary is about this girl named Mackenzie Shirilla, who was 17 at the time that this happened. She was a senior in high school. They're getting ready to graduate or had just graduated. What happens is police get a report that there's this vehicle that crashed into the side of the high school. It ended up being that she was driving, Mackenzie Shirilla, and her boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and their other friend, Davian Flanagan, were both in the car. Both of them, unfortunately, passed away from this crash, right? They started looking into this crash. And all is not as it seems.
Because at first everyone was like, oh my God, how tragic. Like this was obviously an accident. But then they were like, not so obviously. Seems a little suspicious.
It comes out that actually they smoke a lot of weed and they do a lot of drugs as far as mushrooms and, stuff like that.
Non-drivable drugs.
Right. Again, she was 17. Her boyfriend was like, a couple years older.
Yeah, I think so.
Just a couple years.
Yeah, I think he might have been like 19 or 20.
And they had been at this, they call it a house party. I will agree. Like one of the good friends of hers was interviewed. They interviewed like all the family members in this documentary. She was like, they keep calling it a house party, but it was just like, it was more of a sleepover. There was like 5 or 6 of us, went over to somebody's house. Yeah. It wasn't like a big house party. It was like a group of friends over at somebody's house whose like parents were out of town.
Yeah.
Just like hanging out.
Sounds like my
weed.
early 20s.
I know. I'm like, that wasn't like a house party. It's like there's a
big difference.
You know?
Yeah.
So
let's have a kiki.
They were all at this and they leave early in the morning. And when they start looking at this, they are able to compile video from the route that they took before the car crashed. They saw the speed at which they were driving, the control that Mackenzie had over the car before all of this, and the fact that there were not like skid marks or,
which, if you're like, oh no, a building, I'm going to try to get away from this building. No, she wasn't really trying to get away from the building.
And then they were able to pull out like the car's black box and look at that and see whether there was braking or accelerating. And there was literally no braking whatsoever. Yeah. So they investigate. They end up charging her with 12 felony charges that included murder, felonious assault, and aggravated vehicular homicide. She was found guilty and is currently serving 2 concurrent life sentences with the possibility of parole after 15 years. She, this whole time, has maintained her innocence, said that, because obviously the state had to go in and prove that she intentionally drove this car into the side of the building.
Which I think they did. I think it was pretty definitive.
I do too.
It's a hard thing to prove.
It is a hard thing to prove because they do also talk about the possibility that like this relationship that her and her boyfriend had.
Very tumultuous.
Yeah. They presented it as this very very in love, very great relationship. And then turns out not all is as it appears. There were lots of arguments and fighting and
a lot of
control
domestic
things.
violence. Yes.
And so there is this possibility there was like an argument happening and somebody was pulling on the wheel or shifting the car to neutral and back. You know what I mean? Like some of these things.
I saw people thinking like that she was totally passed out. Like she had passed out at the wheel.
Well,
and that's why
they talk about this at the end about especially her parents who are very much fighting for her to be
which is
released.
So sad.
Which I don't blame them.
What else
for
are you
that.
gonna do?
I don't blame them for that.
Yeah.
I think any parent in that situation wouldn't want to believe that their kid intentionally drove a fucking car into a wall with other people in
Especially someone so young.
Mm-hmm. And they are trying to do everything they can to get her out. Yeah. One of the things they bring up is the fact that she has POTS.
Oh,
at the very end.
Yeah.
And
that can make you pass out.
Yeah. And they do talk about this at court, like during the trial. Mm-hmm. Because her mom, I'm pretty sure, was one of the witnesses, which she opts for a bench trial when she goes to trial, which I thought was really interesting.
That is interesting.
Although I kind of don't blame them for that either, because it's a very emotionally charged case with like two young kids, community.
Oh, it was
came together. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Yes. There was a lot of like social media stuff.
I do kind of get the
I do too.
choice to do a bench trial.
Yeah.
But they talk about this in court and he's talking about, well, you're talking about POTS as a possibility. That can, like you said,
possibility.
that can make you pass out or black out or whatever. And she was like, yeah. And the attorney was like, well, you weren't so worried about it that you let her drive everywhere, and they're also talking about if you were to pass out, your foot wouldn't stay pressed
you don't get lead
all the fucking way down.
Right.
Because they also found her like Gucci slipper stuck to the pedal, the gas pedal. And it turns out that because of the crash, it had literally like closed around the shoe.
Yeah.
Which means she was still accelerating when the car hit the wall.
She did that shit.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
The most interesting thing about this for me is at the very end, spoiler alert, towards the end, they interview Mackenzie Shirla in prison. And obviously her attorneys are present.
Oh, of course.
And they have, I don't know if you've seen a clip of this online, but they have this moment where they're like, okay, is there anything else that you want to say, that you wanted to touch on, whatever? And she's like, I just, just that I didn't do this intentionally and blah, 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 blah. And she like kind of has this like almost teary moment and then looks over at her attorney and is like, did I cover everything? Like, did I get like, it was very fucking sketchy. It was kind of, the camera, like,
that's crazy.
The cameras are rolling. Like, maybe come up with a better code to make it less obvious.
Should I do more tears, less tears?
Yeah,
what do you think?
She's like, did I hit all the points? Is that everything that we needed to get? Blah, blah, blah. Is there anything else?
That's creepy.
Fucking weird.
I watched
Very interesting
YouTube documentary about it a long time ago. So I'm familiar with the case, but I'm really interested to watch this.
It's like an hour and a half.
Well, that's not so bad.
I want to say it's it's an actual like documentary film. Hour and a half, hour 45 maybe.
Yeah.
Absolutely worth watching because it's a crazy story.
It's crazy.
And hearing from Mackenzie's parents are involved in this and all the parents and family members of everybody, and like hearing from all of them is like
heavy.
Wow. It's pretty wild. It's a thinker. It's a thinker for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend though, because
hell yeah.
Yeah, it'll put you on a whole rabbit hole of.
It's a really interesting piece. Yeah. And there's a lot of social media stuff involved in it too.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, just definitely check it out. It's called The Crash. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
This is that part of the show where we say content may not be appropriate for all listeners.
May not.
This week we are talking about. Actually, mine is, as far as gruesome goes, not crazy.
Yeah, mine's got a lot of murder, but I think that's like about it.
Which is what we do anyway.
We do. That's what you're here for.
Yeah, so we have rolled right into the summer season. And I think that most people, I mean, I just got back from vacation, but I think most people are taking vacations.
Yeah.
Right now.
I went in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And where are you going?
I'm going to Wisconsin.
Ooh,
yeah.
Fun.
So exciting.
So I always, at this time of year, like to, let's just say, do a little PSA.
Ooh.
Right? That even though you're on vacation, you still need to like
You're not
be
safe.
Aware. Well, you know.
Keep one eye open.
Yes, basically. Yes. You want to talk about a paranoid person? It's me.
Me too.
But you know, you got to be safe on vacation. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk about, I messaged you and said, we're going to do unfortunate vacations.
Yeah, I love it.
Do with that what you will, is what I said.
I loved the wide net.
So I am going to talk about a gentleman named Lars Midink. So this is going to be European.
This is a good one.
European based. So Midink was born in 1986 in Berlin, Germany, but grew up and lived his entire life in Schleswig-Holstein.
Ooh.
There isn't too much about his youth or background, but his adult years, he worked at a power plant, and following a stroke that his father had, he a lot of times was like helping his parents after work. He was really close with his parents. They would like hang out and stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think there's anything really about his childhood because it wasn't that interesting. He was just like,
I was going to say no news is good news.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. He was just like a good kid
No
that
police
had
reports.
no, nothing, you know, probably played some sports, just, you know, average kid.
Yeah.
There wasn't, like I said, anything unusual to note. He was just this guy. He was a football fan, as in European football, as in soccer. But he was a football fan. He supported his local team, like hung out with his friends, and he had a girlfriend.
Nice.
So
Seems like the pretty average guy.
pretty average fellow. But it was these friends that Midink would traveled with them to Varna, Bulgaria in June 2014 for a summer holiday. And this was his first time traveling outside of Germany.
Wow.
Which I find interesting because I do feel like
Europeans travel a lot.
They travel a lot because they're in such close proximity to so many different
and their
countries.
jobs like care about them.
Yeah, also that. They get way more time off of work.
Yeah.
So where this is, it's along the Black Sea coast. There's this little place named Golden Sands that's a super popular tourist destination for Europeans.
Yeah.
This was a rabbit hole that I did not think I was going to fall down, to be honest with you. But what it seems like to me is Golden Sands started as like a resort that grew into this destination town, essentially. The actual development of the resort started in 1957, but they added like hotels and villas and apartment buildings and spa centers and restaurants.
Like all grew around
and clubs and casinos and attractions and shopping centers and sports facilities.
Magnet.
Yes, they just like built this all up. They had a yacht marina, a horse riding school, and a water park that they called Aquapolis.
That's so
I love
cute.
Aquapolis. So they built this all up around this resort, and it basically became a resort town with tons of these like hotels and stuff offering all-inclusive vacations.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it really was just like a vacation.
Sounds great.
Town, which sounds super safe, right?
Right.
So this is where Midink and his friends decided to vacation.
Yeah.
Everything went pretty normally. They arrived. They had a good time. They were going out.
It sounds fun.
To me, it sounds. I've seen pictures of it too, and it's very like tropical-y almost, but in Europe.
Because I'm thinking, like, what do I know about Bulgaria? Nothing.
I know that. Shout out to Bulgaria. They won Eurovision this year.
Oh.
Yeah, I know you don't care. Which will also be very interesting because they have to host next year.
Oh, cool.
And Bulgaria is not necessarily the most wealthy of countries.
Say, that'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
I am interested to see what they come up with. I am interested, but for the time being, congratulations, Bulgaria.
Yeah.
So the vacation went as normal. Paul Roman, who was one of the friends on the trip, he told German television in 2016, quote, The week went by really fast. We relaxed on the beach, swam in the pool, played football, went clubbing. He was relaxed. He was in a good mood, end quote. The day before the group had to leave, they had gone to a bar in town. And while they were there, Mittank got into an argument with some other German nationals about football.
Damn it.
It was like rival football teams. People have been drinking, having some words, you know.
And you're not home, so you feel like the pressure's off a little bit.
Yeah, so they, and to be fair, like his friends later was like, that was kind of unusual for him because he just wasn't necessarily like a confrontational guy, but probably a little drunk.
I think the Bulgarian vodka was flowing.
Yeah.
For sure.
So a little bit after this, they leave to go to a restaurant, and Mittank, at that point, he was like, I'm going to keep going out. You guys go to the restaurant. I'll meet up with you later. And wasn't seen for the rest of the evening.
Okay.
When they meet up the next morning, Mittank told everyone that after the bar, he had been beaten up by 4 guys who had been hired by the folks that he had argued with at the bar. This is what he says. This altercation leaves him with a jaw injury and a ruptured eardrum.
Oh my God.
So he shows up. Football? He's like, beat the fuck up. He's like, these guys hired some people to come after me.
That's stupid.
While I was out. Okay. So.
Are we going to hire somebody?
I mean, maybe.
That's crazy.
So this was like right before they were getting ready to fly out. So he goes to a doctor. Mittank wanted to make sure that he was good to travel.
Yeah, definitely.
Which he was not. Due to the changes in air pressure on an airplane. As we were just talking about this, actually. Yeah, it could potentially make his ear worse. So he was advised to stay for an extra day. He was prescribed an antibiotic named cefprozil, or I saw it also called cefuroxime.
Okay.
Apparently the same thing.
Yeah.
Me, the medical professional.
Every time I have to like say any medical word, I'm like, girl, I don't know. I'm just going to
sound it out. Sound it out.
I just spell it. I'm not even doing that.
So he was like, Mittank was like, I don't want to hold everybody up. Go on without me. I'll be home. Like, I'm right behind you guys. I'll be home shortly after.
Poor guy.
So everybody checked out of the resort at the same time. I'm assuming like the reservation was up.
Right.
Time to go. But he still had to find a place to stay. Which, unfortunately, they were there at Golden Sands during like peak season.
Yeah, good luck, buddy.
He had to try to find a vacant room, but he did eventually find availability at a place called Hotel Color.
Okay.
And it was pretty close to the airport. The rooms were not crazy expensive. There were some like, during my research, I saw some, sort of references to it not necessarily being
hotel
the
by the
nicest
airport
part of town,
right.
Like
a little sketchy.
But he was like, it's one night, it's fine.
Right.
This hotel is pretty clean, pretty nice.
I feel bad.
So one night, that was it. But once he had made it to the hotel, that's when some strange things started happening.
Oh no.
So Mittank called his mother. He claimed that he was being followed and someone was after him, and in sort of like whispered tones tells his mom that she needs to cancel his bank card and then hangs up the phone.
Oh my God.
Later CCTV footage obtained from Hotel Color shows like more strange behavior from Mittank, including pacing up and down the halls. He was looking out the windows. He's like hiding in the elevator. Gives me very like Elisa Lamb vibes.
Yes.
Like that kind of.
If he ends up in the water tank, I'm going to be really
upset. He does not end up in the water tank. No water tanks here. Well,
He'll be
maybe
so proud of me. Everyone thinks the Elisa Lamb story is haunted, and I don't.
No, I think
she got murdered.
Wow.
But
okay. Well, that's another conversation for another
time. Yeah, it sure is. But I just thought you'd be very proud of me because that's a big paranormal one. And I think that those people are stupid.
Yes, I am proud of you.
It was
for that.
Not a ghost.
Good job. Way to be rational.
I did it.
Way to be right. That's how it should feel every time. Remember that feeling for next time. So Mittank left the hotel around 1 a.m.
Okay.
He returns an hour later. No idea what he was doing during that time. They still have not been able to really tell where he went, what he did. He was just gone for an hour, comes back.
That's weird.
At some point in the evening, he had messaged his mom asking about the antibiotics that he was prescribed. And that later is something that she's like, well, that's kind of weird that he was like, okay, what can you tell me about X, Y, and Z? Like this medication that he was on. Just something to note for later. The following morning, Mittank called his mother again, saying that the people who were after him were getting closer. She's like becoming more and more concerned. He takes a taxi from the hotel to the airport, texts his mom that he was at the terminal. And I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently there's airport doctors.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, if there's like an emergency or something, you got to make an emergency landing. You want doctor on hand.
Is there a doctor on board?
Right.
They're like, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But I didn't realize that was a thing. So when Mittank got to the airport, he goes to the airport doctor because he needed to be cleared to fly.
Right.
So he goes to see this guy named Dr. Kostov, who would later say that despite this being a routine checkup, Mittank seemed incredibly nervous and he was acting a little erratic. Like it wasn't, most people would just like roll up and I'm sure it's not a pleasant experience for everybody. But
I was going to say, for him to say that, a lot of people are very nervous in airports. Like me, I hate an airport. Yeah. So it's like for him to really note that he was nervous, that guy had to be tweaking.
Right. Not the normal, like twitchy kind. It's the twitchy kind of nervous, not the normal kind of doctor nervous or airport nervous. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's like, what's up with you?
Right.
Besides your ear and stuff.
Ultimately, he was cleared to fly.
Okay.
But before leaving the office, expressed concerns about the medication that he had been prescribed for his ear. This is from Mel Magazine, quote, a construction worker entered the room. The terminal was being refurbished. Mittank started to tremble. He muttered something under his breath. Then he said, I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here. Mittank leaps out of the chair. He rushes out of the room, completely leaves his luggage behind, including his phone, his wallet, and his passport. He then jogs through the airport, runs past all of the gates, all of the agents, runs out the main entrance into the parking lot. And he goes through the parking lot, jumps the fence between the airport terminal, and runs into the forest that's next to the airport.
Goodbye.
Runs off.
Yeah.
Very strange. When he flees into the forest, Mittank was wearing a yellow t-shirt, jean shorts, and white sneakers. Okay. The last views of him were from like the video.
Yeah, like the surveillance.
Their surveillance video, yeah. Where him running through the parking lot, he climbs the fence, disappears into the forest. Spoiler alert, he's never been seen again.
Yeah, nobody knows where he is.
Nobody knows. So let's talk about what has happened.
What's going on?
Because this is just very unusual.
It's so weird.
I'm sure you thought I was going to come with a story of kidnapping and murder. But no, this is just some weird ass shit.
When you said like bad vacations, I thought about him.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that video of him running through the airport. This is another one that people are like, he was possessed. I'm like, no, don't be silly.
There's definitely other explanations. Do we know what those explanations are?
No. I know what I think, so I'm interested to see what you think.
So what has happened? There's been tons of speculation and theories thrown out there, none of which has really found like universal agreement. There is not any one theory really that anybody's like, oh yeah, this is the more likely.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
It's so weird.
And they just don't have a lot to go on, unfortunately. The police have conducted searches, but haven't really turned up anything.
Not hide nor hair.
No. Mittank's family also hired a local private investigator, hoping he'd be able to like uncover something maybe that police weren't able to uncover.
Zip.
But he has not.
Yep.
The private investigator, Andreas Gutig, reached out to homeless shelters, hospitals, and stuff on the off chance that he had maybe entered as like a John Doe. Because remember, he left all of his identification at the airport. all they know is what he looks like and what he was wearing at the time that he left. So maybe he was a John Doe, but he hasn't had any luck either. He even went to the airport in Varna and handed out like missing person flyers.
Yeah.
Has not gotten a response from any of those. In the year following his disappearance, police have received numerous reports of Mittank sightings, but
like Bigfoot.
Right. Very much unable to substantiate any of these claims, right? There was a trucker that claimed to have seen him hitchhiking near Varna. Some claimed that he was seen as a homeless man in Poland.
Okay.
And there was even a claim on Reddit that someone had met Mittank as a homeless man in Canada, which I'm like, that would be the least likely of all of those.
Absolutely. What are you doing in Canada?
Also, how would he get there?
Right.
He doesn't have any
ID. Right. He would have to have fake everything, which is a lot harder than people think it is.
Again, we're talking about, what did I say, 2014?
Yeah.
Like, this is not olden days where you can just, like, hop on a ship.
Right.
I mean, you probably still can do that. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that is still happening,
it's not
right? But, like,
impossible, but it's highly unlikely that he would have been able to cross continents
into
without
another
any
country.
ID, without being recognized in some way.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think he's dead.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I think at this point, I do think he's probably dead.
I think so too.
So obviously, there's big questions as to what happened to him after he went into the forest.
So spooky.
His family did tell the media that he was like the outdoorsy type. Like he was a hunting, camping, fishing kind of guy.
That is interesting.
So
he'd have more chance in the woods than like me.
Correct. Like there was definitely a possibility that he attempted to survive in the forest.
Right.
At least for a time.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think that you can survive out there forever.
No.
After learning about that area too, like it seems a little less likely. The possibility for me at least becomes smaller or more grim anyway, like that he was staying out there. So this is again from Mel magazine, quote, Varna gets really hot in the summer. Temperatures reach around the mid-90s.
Ooh.
And without a water source, it's pretty much impossible to stay alive. There's a big river near the airport, but that leaves food and shelter. If he tried to survive in the woods, he died there. He might have found an abandoned cabin somewhere, but there isn't much to eat in the wilderness.
Right.
Police searched the area with drones, then cadaver dogs, but found nothing. End quote.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm like, I mean, maybe he did, but like that kind of heat.
Yeah.
You know,
no water,
like
no
I said,
anything.
he left and was wearing a t-shirt and shorts and tennis shoes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So even if it's really hot during the day, I'm sure it gets a little cooler at night.
Yep.
You know? So,
Jeez.
Unfortunately, I think if he remained out there, if he didn't somehow come back, he's probably
no longer
long gone.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, there is also some obvious questions, I would say, as to what caused what appears to me to be some sort of like psychotic break,
I agree.
Essentially. With Mittank mentioning the antibiotic that he had been on, he mentioned it like multiple times.
Yeah, he was worried about it.
Sounded really concerned about it. It was definitely something that was worth looking into.
Yeah.
The medication he was on, cefprozil, is a cephalosporin, which has a rare psychotic side effect, including hallucinations and paranoia.
Oh, well, there you go.
Right. This all seems to make sense until you find out that he didn't actually take it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Dr. Kostov said that Mittank hadn't even filled the prescription for the antibiotics. So there's no way that he could have been taking it. Weird, though.
It is
because
weird.
he keeps bringing it up as like, what about this antibiotic? What about this antibiotic? Like, what about this medication?
Yeah.
So he was very concerned about something that he wasn't actually taking.
Yeah.
And never filled.
Right.
Which is strange. So that kind of rules that out. Mittank's family also said that he didn't have a history of mental illness that they were aware of.
Right.
But there is also a possibility that there is undiagnosed mental illness that caused some sort of mental break that he didn't talk about, was relatively new.
Yeah.
Like, that
he
is...
didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
This could have been the first time that he was experiencing this type of psychosis.
Right.
And didn't know what, you know what I mean? Like that
first
is also
time
a
away from
possibility.
home and everything.
Yeah.
What do you think happened? I can't wait to hear your theory.
I think he probably had a mental break and just disappeared and died in the forest.
I think the whole thing about like he gets in a bar fight, which is like, okay, fine. People do that on vacation. People do that in our hometown. You know, people get in bar fights. But then like the detail about like, oh, these German dickheads who hate my soccer football team hired people to beat me up. Why would they do that? That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Maybe because they're in a different country, and if you get arrested in a different country, it's a lot more difficult to deal with.
I just don't like for a drunken bar fight. I mean, it's like whatever. I think that at that point, either something else happened and he lied about it, or he got beat up by somebody random and he was already so paranoid that he was like, they fucking hired people. People are out to get me. People are following me, because he had that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wonder.
Yeah. I mean, it's also when you're talking about a fight that is, you get hit hard enough to cause jaw damage.
That's what I think too.
There's also like
injury.
Concussion.
Yeah.
But they talked to one of the doctors that they talked about that I was reading during my research was talking about concussions, and a concussion specifically, the psychosis symptoms from that typically are not onset for like a number of years.
Right.
Like it takes and like repetitive
I've had a concussion before. It just makes you real stupid.
Yeah. It makes you like drunk almost like and ready to pass
I
out.
forgot my mother-in-law's name.
Yeah. I forgot that my dad came to the hospital. I didn't know that my dad came to the hospital.
Oh my
to
God.
visit me when I had my concussion.
It just makes you dumb.
I still do not remember my dad being he was there apparently. I do not remember my dad being at the hospital.
I got mine from whiplash.
Soccer.
So lame.
Soccer header with another girl. Yeah.
My stunt job.
That was the time that, I headbutted another girl and we were both going up for a header, and my mom was driving to the hospital, and I had this water bottle, wide mouth water bottle that I was like throwing up into.
Cute.
And I'm sitting there going, I can't feel the right side of my face. Like I couldn't feel the right side of my face.
Yeah.
And she was like driving like, oh my God, which
my baby.
Again, in hindsight, being an adult and like knowing how a parent would react, there's part of this like, I'm so sorry about that, because I would have probably panicked. She's like rushing to the hospital. Yeah. Sorry, Mom. But that's the thing is it's like repetitive head injuries.
Right.
And
one concussion is not going to make you go nuts. I almost wonder, like I watched like a video essay about this case.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered if he went there, they're clubbing and he took something.
Like slipped something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it affected him badly. And
I know,
the injury like compounded on it.
We were just talking about how like an acid trip is like like an 8-hour experience. Like it's not like a quick thing. You know what I'm saying? And depending on how much you take, you're talking hours.
I know people who
tripped
tripped like for days.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's definitely a potential.
Yeah.
At this point, it's been about 12 years since Mittank disappeared. Authorities have almost nothing to go on. Since then, like you said, Mittank he's come to be known as the most famous missing person on YouTube.
Poor guy. What a terrible legacy.
I know. But this case has become sort of internet famous.
Yeah. If you're watching and you're like, I think I've seen a video of a guy running through an airport, you have.
That's this guy.
Very famous footage.
That sort of notoriety brings with it thousands of internet theories, which are like range from plausible to like buck wild to ghost, to aliens. Like,
oh, I've seen so many people being like, he got abducted. I'm like, shut the hell up.
And it's things like intentionally planning his own disappearance
and I don't believe
start over. I don't believe that either.
I just think it's so risky. Like airports are so scary that like I would be afraid if I ran in the wrong place in the airport. I'd be afraid they're gonna kill me. Like you don't want to go to Bulgarian jail.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that stupid.
No, I don't think he's that stupid either. There's also things like he took a bunch of drugs and then panicked that he was going to be caught. And so he like ran into the woods and then died from a drug overdose.
Which I think is more likely.
I think
than
it's
some
more
of the other things
plausible.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the impression from when they talked to like his friends and like.
No, he was not this big drug guy. They would have
maybe
known.
they smoked some weed or whatever.
Right.
But it's not like he's out here like doing coke and like, you know, being crazy.
Yeah.
So
I think he got laced with something.
That could definitely be possible. There's also the fact that Bulgaria happens to have one of the highest human trafficking rates in the EU.
Oh, that's right.
So there have also been a lot of people theorizing that he ended up in like this sex trafficking, human trafficking trade.
Uh-huh.
Again, I don't think that's that likely.
It's just like, where did you pull that from?
Right.
You know?
And who is going to chase this guy into the woods to try to sell him into human trafficking? You know what I'm saying?
Like, isn't.
I hate to say it, there's easier ways to get people.
Oh, absolutely.
than chasing.
That is the thing. You have a lot to fear in the forest, bears perhaps, but not human traffickers wandering around with like a big butterfly net.
Because they also like in the footage, like it's not like somebody is chasing him.
No, he's just running.
He's just running. Yeah.
Like he was scared.
Yeah. So every internet theory kind of lands on that spectrum.
Yes.
Of like, you know, he had a psychotic break to he was sold into trafficking to he got abducted by aliens.
Right.
Like, it's all
over the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Lars Mittank, one thing is for sure, I would say he was clearly struggling with something.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, I also think that he will likely never be found.
I agree. His poor mom.
I know. But that is the story of the disappearance of Lars Mittank.
Such a good one.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
It's very strange.
Yeah, unfortunate vacations. I did love like the super wide net.
Yes.
That you went.
Yeah. I knew you would appreciate that.
I did.
I'm like, there are actually, again, hate to say it, lots of shit that happens on vacation.
Because like, and this is the thing is like, I feel like when you think of this topic, you think of like someone goes on vacation and something bad happens to them. And that happens, right? Like you're on vacation, especially if it's like international or to some big, you know, destination. You're like kind of chilling. You're on island time. You're maybe not paying so much attention to your surroundings. You feel a little freer because it's like, hey, nobody at home is going to see what I'm doing. I'm going to take my top off these people and do a drug I can't pronounce. Yes. And then it's like, well, now you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like kind of free on vacation. And that was what I was kind of aiming for when I was doing my research, but I ended up kind of going the opposite way.
Okay.
I decided to focus on someone who turned what for many was supposed to be a delightful 70s international dream into a traveler's worst nightmare.
Oh gosh.
So I know you really like the 70s, like the aesthetic of the 70s. Have you ever heard of the destination known as the Hippie Trail?
It sounds familiar.
You're going to be like, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So in the 70s, obviously, this very free love, freedom kind of era. And it's also like a lot of these like flower children were very interested in like different cultures.
Yeah, the 70s was like a big transitional period from that like flower child into disco. Like it was kind of this transitionary period.
Yeah.
But you were either going that way into like cocaine and like you know what I mean, the party nightlife, or you went harder into the hippy dippy crunchy.
This is hippy dippy crunchy. Yeah. We're definitely on
the 70s was very interesting because it was right after a bunch of bad shit and this transition into like hard party.
I think it was a big international disassociation.
Yeah. Weird. It seems like that's what's happening now.
Wow, that's crazy. It's almost like history repeats itself. So the hippie trail So on the vein of all of these flower children, you know, I know this is 60s, but I'm thinking of like the Beatles doing like Indian music.
Yes,
and
that was definitely
very
late
much
60s, early 70s.
This whole craze into like, interesting, we talked about our news thing. We were talking about Buddhism. There was this big interest in like Buddhism.
Spirituality.
Yes, very much. So a lot of the, and not to generalize, but a lot of these hippies were like white children from rich parents.
Yeah.
So they would take their parents' money and be like, I'm going to go on this international trip.
Right.
And
be anti-establishment.
Yeah, I don't even need no hotels. I'm going to stay under the stars.
Yeah.
And this is what this was.
Okay.
So the hippie trail, it was also called the Overland, like the Overland Trail.
Okay.
It was this trail, kind of a form of alternative tourism, but it was this trail that led from Europe to West Asia that was kind of formulated for people to travel through. So just like you were talking about with your resort, like things kind of popped up around it. On this trail, you would find like different little hostels and different stores because there were all of these white people trampling through.
Yeah, it sounds very much like you come here to go on your spiritual journey where you walk this trail and you end up in like, you know, the spiritual center.
Right.
Is that kind of the...
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it started in... Let me see. So typically it wasn't like, you know, a complete marked trail, but it was like around this destination. So there were starts in Copenhagen, West Berlin, Amsterdam, Milan.
Big centers of yoga.
Absolutely. Hippieburg. Absolutely. I almost said Hippieburg, USA, but this is Europe. So Hippieburg, Europe.
Yep.
And then the route went through Tehran, which has been in the news lately for some reason. Can't think of why. Peshawar, before going to more like India, Nepal, which is like, you know, where they all wanted to go.
Yes.
They want to meditate with an elephant, which is like, listen.
All tracks.
Right. Exactly.
Like, yep, this all sounds right. Yep.
And it was like kind of an interesting, I always think it's interesting when people talk about it, like, and these hippies were so enlightened, and it's like, well, all of these areas had a lot of issues going on at the time that they were sort of like blissfully unaware of. They're like, this is so beautiful. And it's like, meanwhile, you can't get into Tibet because all of the free Tibet stuff is happening. Burma is 100% closed at this point. So it's like all of this crazy shit happening. Meanwhile, these hippies are like tripping on acid, like, wow, it's so beautiful. It's like, well,
yeah, right. And also you're talking about a bunch of, I would argue, primarily white people.
Absolutely.
Who, being white in these places is probably fine, you know?
Well, yeah. Like they definitely had, it was definitely like
a little bit of privilege there, I would say.
Privilege of like, look at all they're eating their protein bars. Meanwhile, these people have nothing to eat.
Right.
You know, it's like, fuck you. Like, I always thought that was a little like, all right, like, why don't you go over there to help them instead of going over there to like smoke fun weed and meditate?
I mean, both.
You can do both.
You can do both.
But
you can do two things.
They mostly only did the fun stuff.
Okay.
You know, and that's what I kind of have a problem with. So there is a certain amount of privilege when it comes, obviously, to these like rich white children running around in these areas, but there was also a little bit of targeting. All of the, as I said earlier, the majority of these hippies were from like pretty upper middle class backgrounds, so they weren't well versed in the ways of the world. They were not street smart.
Yeah, they had book smarts, not street smarts.
Yeah,
some of them not even book smarts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they were kind of an easy target for things like pickpocketers and, you know, there were a lot of them that like would get held up, but most of the time it would end up being okay. You know, you'd get some money stolen, have daddy wire you some more. It's not a big deal.
Right.
But then we kind of get to more serious things. So we're going to talk about a serial killer today who has the very interesting moniker, the Bikini Killer.
Ooh, he wears bikini while murders?
I hope so. I don't have any evidence that he didn't. I really don't. I hope that he did.
There isn't any proof that until we get proof that he didn't, we will assume that he
was
did.
Probably under his clothes.
Oh. Okay. Oh.
Now that's part of the canon. That's what I want. So we're going to talk about this guy. So he's got a very long name. Hachand Bhawani Gurmukh Sobraj.
Okay.
Was born in 1944 in Saigon.
Okay.
So he came from two pretty distinct not economic, what am I thinking? Like ethnic backgrounds. So his mother was Vietnamese and his father was Sindhi.
It was what?
Sindhi. It's like
Sindhi, like SINDHI.
It's like an Indian subclass. So this was unusual for sure. And his parents were never married. And I think pretty shortly, I think he did stick around for a little bit during his childhood, but his father never asserted paternity and would end up abandoning the family.
Oh, great.
Right.
Love that.
You know,
cool.
Great. See you later. His mother remarried to this like French army lieutenant who was stationed in that area in French Indochina.
Okay.
So, which, you know, was cool. It's like, okay, a father, like, of course, as in many of these stories, he was not a nice dad.
Not the best father figure.
And would pay attention to his own children because him and the mom would go on to have more children, but not any attention to him.
So it's like, you're not one of...
Right.
You're the before child.
And he never adopted him. Like,
I feel a little bad for this.
I feel bad
for
too.
The child.
Well, and
the
this
child
is the thing with these.
Killer.
You won't feel bad for him later.
No, but I do feel bad for him as a kid.
At some point, everyone was a child.
Yeah,
you know. I think that's normal to feel that way. I feel super bad. So as one does when you come from like kind of a fucked up background, he started to commit petty crimes. Just little like burglaries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he did get sent to prison. Unlike other petty criminals who it's like, okay, you got a couple months in jail, maybe just sit it out and try to whatever. He was like, this is actually a great time for me to reveal that I am a huge master manipulator. He was seemingly born with this ability to get people to do what he wanted them to do.
Wow.
So he was able to manipulate, and this was like a penniless kid, you know? So it's not like he bribed anyone, but he was able to convince prison officials to let him have special treatment in jail. So he had books in his cell. He was getting special meals. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very Al Capone.
Absolutely.
Very Al Capone of
This
him.
guy would have loved the mob.
Yeah.
He was born in the wrong continent for sure. He would have thrived in the Italian mafia.
Oh my gosh.
So there was a guy who was volunteering at his prison, like a French guy, Felix d'Escone.
Escone.
He was this super rich guy who seemed to have like a big heart. He's volunteering at the prison and he kind of endears himself to our guy.
Okay.
As sort of like a father figure. He's like, I can help you. And after you get out of jail, why don't you come and move in with me? And he was like, sweet deal. So Sobraj moved in with d'Escone and they ended up going to Paris. That's where this guy lived. So he got out of jail, went to Paris.
Wait, he's French? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Of course he's French.
Oui, he is French.
Oh, gosh.
I know, l'Escone.
Escone.
Sorry, French people. I'm probably saying that so
Scone
bad.
is a little Italian.
Scone, yeah.
That's a little Italy on
It
that.
is kind of.
Well, the way you say it.
Throw some Italian
is what I'm saying.
stank on it. Listen.
Yeah. Okay, so he went to prison. Our French guy went to prison.
No.
Not volunteered,
He volunteered
at the prison.
He
went
was like,
to prison
what a
to
bright
volunteer.
young lad.
And he actively took our guy.
He was like, you're from a bad situation.
What's his name? Sabraj. Under his wing.
Yes. And was like, when you're out of prison, you really have nowhere to go. Because I'm sure his mom and fuck-ass stepdad were like, don't come here if you're going to steal
I'm also sure
stuff.
they didn't give a shit. Like,
I'm sure they didn't either. They
didn't
were like,
visit
bye.
him, didn't...
No.
Yeah.
And he probably saw that and it tugged at his little French heartstrings.
Aww.
He was like, oh my God, come live with me and I'll help you.
Weep, weep, weep.
Yeah. Oui.
No, weep, weep.
Désolé. So Sobraj was living it up in the Parisian high life. This was a cool time for Paris. So he was in like sort of the high society, but he also discovered the very vast and dingy Parisian underground.
Of course.
All of this like criminal activity. But he was able, for some reason, to do this more successfully than in his homeland. He was able to start actually sort of like accumulating some wealth.
Okay.
Because he was stealing shit.
Right.
So people started sort of paying attention to him, including a young French woman from a very conservative family who were probably like, what? Chantal Compagnon.
Okay.
And they would end up getting married.
Okay.
Because he was like, I'm just like a super cool, and it's fine.
Did the Frenchman know that he was out stealing things? Was he pro criminal activity? Or not so much? He just
Not
kinda,
so much.
Okay.
I don't think he was super aware of what was going on.
Okay.
And at first I thought his new wife wasn't aware either, but she was.
Oh.
She knew the whole time. She was like,
course.
ooh, you're bad.
Ooh, bad boy.
Ooh,
like
I
a bad
love
boy.
it. Literally, this is really cute. The day, well, it's not cute, it's horrible, but like the day that he proposed to her, he got arrested because he stole a car. So he was evading police in this car and got arrested and went to jail for 8 months.
You can't arrest me. I just got engaged.
Yeah, he's like, please, my wife. And then they're like, that's even worse. So he went to jail for 8 months. And if I were her, I would have dipped. I would have been like, bye.
Yeah,
we're actually supposed to be picking cake flavors right now, asshole.
The things that we see as red flags were not, they were very much like beige flags.
Oh, yeah. She was
back
like,
in
yum,
France in the olden years.
So one thing that was actually kind of cool, France and Vietnam have like a weird history in that France colonized Vietnam, which a lot of people don't know.
Right.
But when he was born, to his Vietnamese mother, because she was a natural citizen of Vietnam, he automatically got French citizenship upon his birth.
Oh,
so it made it a lot easier for him when he got out of jail to get married and like do all of that stuff. Otherwise, that would have been very difficult for him.
Sure.
So
did he speak French?
Oui.
Okay.
At least like passively.
A little bit, yeah.
And I'm sure he was very smart, I will say. Dickhead, but real smart.
They all are.
He does his jail time. Since he's been doing dirty deeds done dirt cheap, he has, like, as soon as he gets out of jail, he's already in trouble again. And they already want to arrest him again.
He's literally walking out of the jail to steal a car.
Hey,
drive home.
Hey, stop that.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be cured of that. That's what prison is.
Yeah.
That's what
we
prison
just,
is for.
total aside, we just, I heard about this guy in DeKalb like last week or the week before, got a DUI, got taken in.
Oh my God.
Leaves the police station, gets on his motorcycle, drives, and they see him leaving the police station.
Bro.
And they're like, we just fucking arrested you. Got another DUI. Like an hour late. Like he got like 2 or 3 DUIs in one night.
Call an Uber.
That's what I'm saying. This is this guy. It's the modern day equivalent.
Oh my God, it's like his reincarnation. That's so funny.
It's like, what do you mean I'm arrested again? Double jeopardy.
He did have a baby girl. Otherwise, I'd be like, this is his son.
Oh, yep.
So he gets out of jail. The police are like, hey, actually, we'd like to talk to you again. And he was like, au revoir.
Yeah.
So he took his now pregnant wife and was like, we're just going to skeet through Eastern Europe.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. And everyone's like, what are you going to do for money? Like, get a job? And he's like, no, I'm going to rob tourists. So that's what he did.
Sure.
And his wife would kind of like help him with that. She was kind of like with him.
Yeah.
So they ended up going all the way to Mumbai, which was then called Bombay.
Okay.
His daughter was born, and as soon as his daughter was born, he fully was like, all right, I'm a criminal now. I'm going to be like boosting cars. He had a whole smuggling operation. He had
a family to provide for.
Well, right.
No.
But he was also in the midst of a full-blown, very serious gambling addiction. Oh. So how much they were getting, I think, was probably not much.
Oh, cool.
So he had this whole thing that he would do. Part of their like one of their little schemes was that when he would get arrested, he would like pretend to be like really sick so they wouldn't pay as much attention to him, and then he would be like, goodbye.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, please, she'd be like, please, my husband, he's so sick. And they'd be like, okay, that's fine. Then they turn around and he'd be gone.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So They, at that point, fled to Kabul, which was right smack dab on the hippie trail.
Okay.
So he was like, look at all of these delicious white people with dangling purses.
Right.
I'm going to get those.
Right. I know you said this is in the 70s, but this whole time I'm like 1600s. Like
I know. It does kind of sound like ancient,
old-timey.
It totally does.
Yeah.
But nope.
No, this is in the 70s.
The 70s.
Yep.
So he goes to Kabul, and that's when he was sort of like aware of like, oh, there's this like whole trail of all these hippies. This is an interesting thing.
Good place to set up shop.
Yeah. So he would end up, he goes to so many different places. It's like almost a little hard to keep track.
Yeah.
Because he would flee from Kabul to Iran.
Okay.
At this point, his wife was like, hey, this is getting like a little crazy for me. I have like a baby.
Right.
So I'm going to go to France, eat a dick.
Yeah.
So she was like, goodbye. I don't think they like on paper got divorced.
Yeah. She probably was like, I'm going to go to France.
Yeah.
If you need me or you feel like doing this family thing, I'll be there. But
I will never see you again.
Oh.
She vowed to never see him again.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. She was like, fuck you. I'm going to France.
Right.
Okay.
So he, through his smuggling business, had all of these like fake IDs, fake passports. I think like at one point when they arrested him, he had like 10 stolen passports that he would use.
Oh, stolen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he, oh yeah, my bad. Not like fake,
not like
but
fake.
like ones that he would, like, I'm this guy.
Yeah.
So he didn't have long to be lonely because his half brother, Andre, turned up in Istanbul, not Constantinople, Istanbul, and they would become partners in crime.
Okay.
So he was like, hey, there you go. Can't be lonely for long. So they started like doing criminal business together. And one of the big things that he would do he would pose as a gem salesman.
Okay.
He's like, I'm just selling gems.
Sure.
And he was also like, part-time, I'm also a drug dealer. I'm just like multi-talented.
But if you need a little something, and he opens his jacket.
Reach into the left pocket, there's a big diamond. Reach into the right pocket, there's some weed.
There's a big different kind of rock.
Right. Rocks of all kinds.
We're also talking the crack cocaine years. Lest we forget.
Absolutely. And see how indispensable would he be for these hippies. So a lot of them would get on this hippie trail, do okay for a while, and then their parents would be like, I'm not helping you anymore. I'm not sending you any more money. Or they would run out of money. Yeah. But what they would have would be their class ring, or they would have a diamond necklace. And they'd be like, I'll just pawn this, and then I can keep partying it up in Europe and the Middle East.
Sure.
So he's like, what a coincidence. I'm a gem salesman. I can totally do that for you.
That's clever.
Right. Or they're like, I want a beautiful little keepsake from my fun trip. So he started, not innocently, but like a little lighter, where he was just kind of like robbing these tourists. But it ended up becoming a lot more serious.
Sure.
So later in court, he would claim that most of his murders were accidental drug overdoses. I accidentally gave this girl too much heroin and she died. Oopsie daisy. But investigators would always find elements of this person that you killed had discovered like how in deep shit you were and had threatened to expose him, and then they would die.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Because he was hanging out with all of these hippies. He was this like cool guy to them. But then all of a sudden people would start disappearing. Oop. So his first known victim was Teresa Knowlton. She was from Seattle. She was a very typical sort of flower child on the road, sowing her wild oats. She was unfortunately found in the Gulf of Thailand in like a tidal pool, drowned.
Yeah.
And she was wearing a flowered bikini.
Okay.
So that was his first, although there would be many of these girls were found in bikinis. So that's how he became known as the Bikini Killer.
Gotcha.
So a lot of these murders, of course, at first, they had thought that she had drowned.
Yeah.
And then they would find like,
you know,
which
and they were feel like would not be that implausible, because you're talking about a bunch of people who are out here clearly doing drugs on these mystical journeys.
And they're like, I bet I can touch the bottom.
Becoming one with nature.
Right.
Like, you know.
Right.
That doesn't sound that implausible to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. The next victim was Vitaly Hakim, they found his body totally burnt. So they were like, what the hell? And they were able to discover later with forensics that he had been poisoned.
Ooh.
So he would do this like creepy thing where he would poison people and then sort of like nurse them back to health.
Okay.
So that he would be like, I'm your pal.
I pray you can trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm your friend.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah. Another girl, Charmaine Carreau, another French lady.
Okay.
So they connected over that. He's like, oh my God, I've been to France and done many crimes there. She's like, that's so cute. So she ended up becoming his girlfriend. Her burnt body would be discovered later as well. And she was the second one to be like in a bikini.
Okay.
So they were like bikini killer.
Okay.
So the problem sort of started because he was getting too cocky and he would kill these people and use their passports.
Oh God. Okay.
So as he's doing this and traveling, people are starting to be like,
that's not you. Also, this person's missing.
Right.
Yeah.
So in like 1976, he's starting to get arrest warrants through Interpol.
Ooh.
Like this is like a big serious. So at this point, he was charged with 4 murders in Thailand or suspected of.
Okay.
So there he's like, so he's starting to like kind of get nervous, but it doesn't stop him killing people. At this point, this is one of those where I think they'll end up charging him with like 12 murders, but it's probably like way closer to like 40 or 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of unsolved murders around that time.
I'm sure.
So he was like, oh no, I have this warrant for my arrest. I'll lay low. Just kidding. I'm going to go to Bombay and kill French people. He also was at this point getting like this like gang of girls.
Like a harem?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who they were all like, we're going to commit crimes together. It was a very like Manson family kind of thing. Okay. So like in Bombay, him and 2 American women killed this like Frenchman, a lot of French guys. They poisoned him. They were apparently going to incapacitate him, but he took too much poison. He died.
Oops.
Whoopsie. Hate when that happens.
My bad.
And then he went to New Delhi and was like trying to do his criminal shit, but and like gave these like 3 French guys. He was like, these are anti-dysentery pills. So, like, you do not want dysentery. So here are these pills. And they're like, actually, I feel very bad. I feel very sick. They're like, we've been traveling. Like, we know this is not normal. They were able to overpower him because they're like, this dude fucking poisoned us.
Right.
They were able to overpower him, called the police, and the police figured out who he was. Because originally he was like, I'm not that guy. They're like, we think that you are that guy. And he's like, okay, I'm that guy.
Okay.
I'm that guy.
Sure. You got me. Hey.
So you would think that this would be like, he's going to go to jail and that's it.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
The police got him. It's fine.
You'd hope so.
You would hope so.
You would hope so.
So he's in prison at this point. They're waiting for trial. He was found with these 2 Western women who were helping him with his crimes. They would make full confessions. He would confess to some things.
Okay.
So they're in prison. Both of them would kill themselves in prison.
Okay.
They never made it to trial.
Oh.
Which is very sad.
Yeah.
He, when he went to prison, had gems probably up his booty hole and had bribed all of the guards.
Oh.
So he was living, you said earlier, Al Capone.
Yeah.
He was living very comfortably in jail.
Yeah.
This is when we learn that this guy is really addicted to attention.
Of course.
Fame and attention.
Not
so
surprised.
he is making
like
this
a fucking narcissist.
Oh, he is a dyed-in-the-wool narcissist. He would hire these big lawyers and then fire them and say that they were all incompetent. He went on this like crazy hunger strike that was bullshit.
So he wanted like the spectacle of it all. He wanted the spectacle.
Yes.
The human spectacle.
So he, in his cell, had restaurants that were catering his food. He had a television. There's this little like subplot that I won't go into, but it's very interesting. There was this magazine back in, I don't know if there's still a magazine, Oz Magazine, which was a huge magazine. They had interviewed him, and their commentary on like his behavior and all of the luxuries that he had in jail is really, really, really interesting. So this was like a big, big deal.
Yeah.
So I'll link that because it's really cool, because this was like these poor reporters like first international trip. This was their first like big case, and this is this crazy guy.
Right.
So it's like really, really interesting to listen to. And he told these reporters, these like American reporters from this magazine, he told them everything that he did. And then when they left, he was like, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. He's like, my whole thing is I'm against imperialism. And they're like, shut up, Sobraj. Shut
wow.
up.
Okay.
So he's in prison in India. He gets convicted, but it's like kind of a weird thing where he's convicted of poisoning, but not of murder necessarily.
Well, because he said it was an accident, right?
Yeah, and they kind of bought that.
Okay.
They were like, okay. And I'm sure it had a lot to do with all of his booty hole gems.
Oh, probably.
This was a big corrupt system.
Yeah.
So he served, he had this 20-year sentence. In March 1986, this was his 10th year in prison. This was how big his influence was and how he was just able to do whatever the fuck he wanted. He threw this party in prison. He was like, let's have this fun party. But he had smuggled in sleeping pills.
Okay.
So he drugged all of the food and drink at this party.
Oh my gosh.
And all of the guards and inmates fell asleep. And he walked out of the jail.
He fucking left.
How crazy is
my
that?
dream party?
So, yeah, I know, right? It's like
everyone falls asleep and I can just leave.
You don't even have to clean up. That's
no,
the best.
Everybody falls asleep and I can just leave and go home.
Right. So what the thing was, the reason that he did this is because at this point, so he's in jail in India, which India, unfortunately, has like a pretty corrupt system. It's pretty easy to like bribe, especially at this time. It's very like lackadaisical. But he was facing extradition for his crimes in Thailand. Thailand will fucking kill you.
The Thai prisons are
they'll get you.
Some of the worst in the world.
Absolutely.
Truthfully. Yeah.
Yes. And so he was like, I don't want to do that. So this was coming up to the point where he would have to be extradited. So he did this where he drugged everyone and put everyone to sleep and escaped jail, allowed himself to be recaptured because he knew he would just be sentenced to more jail time in India.
Oh, because he wanted to stay there. Yeah.
Yes. So he got a 10-year sentence for that in India.
Okay.
He kept living it up with his carpets and his plants and his TV. And then on February 17th, 1997, he was 52 at this time, he was released. Okay. And allowed to return to France.
Okay.
So in 2010, he married his interpreter.
Okay.
She was the daughter of one of his lawyers. She was only 20 years old.
Ooh,
he was,
yikes.
what did I say, 52? Gross.
Yeah. Yikes.
This is a quote from this article. She told the media that his gaze and his eyes were mesmerizing and that his French charm had done everything.
Okay.
She even, he needed heart surgery and she, donated blood for him.
French charm. He wasn't even French.
Right. Right.
French.
But that shows what a manipulator he was.
Yeah.
Big manipulator. So he has this whole thing. You might have heard of this. There's a BBC series about him called The Serpent. Okay. That was another name for him because he was so slippery. Yeah. That is on Netflix. Okay. So we should definitely check it out. But he became this very public figure.
Okay.
Do you remember that Asian guy who killed this Dutch woman and ate her, and then he ended up being released and he's a celebrity?
Yes.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure that we covered.
I think you did too.
Them on the show.
I think so too. It's a pretty common case, but I knew you would know what I was talking about.
Yes.
That's very this vibes. He was this. He's still alive. He's this celebrity. He does interviews. He's been in documentaries, playing himself. He's a big media figure.
Of course he is. Well, he likes the attention.
That's what he likes.
The attention.
So after killing what they suspect was 12, but really was probably more in the 50 range, he's just living it up, eating croissants on the Seine with his 20-year-old wife.
Wow.
And that is the very annoying story of why you should be careful being a hippie.
See, that's more of a cautionary tale than mine.
Stay your ass home. Like,
stay home.
Free love is one thing, but like, girl, stay on the trail. Don't talk to that gem salesman who has heroin. Stop that. I'm not victim blaming. All of these people like didn't know what was going on. They were all young and idealistic, but it's like, dude, don't trust everyone you meet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, same. Yeah.
The end.
Don't trust people. Period. Anybody.
Period.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Bang.
All right, folks, that has been our episode.
It has.
Before I forget, before we get too far, we have decided to take June off from recording.
We need a break. It's not
it's
you,
become a
it's
little
us.
crazy. So this means we will not be releasing any episodes in July, which is fine. You don't need to listen to us.
Yeah,
Go
it'll be
outside,
okay.
touch some grass. It's fine.
Yeah. Go watch a cat climb a tree.
Oh, God. Yeah. So just a heads up on that. We will be back releasing as normal in August.
We'll be back.
And September and October, and then we won't release any in November.
We'll miss you.
Yeah, we just need a little summer break.
Yeah.
We need a little summer break. Anyway, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No.
Okay. All right. Our sound and editing is by Tiff Fullman. Our music is by Jason Zakshevsky, the Enigma. This has been the Bad Taste Crime Podcast. We will see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bodies on the hillsides along the highway.
It was as if a wave of evil washed over this town.
We are all evil in some form or another.